So how did y'all start this land flipping empire community?
So, I actually came up with it. I want to say last year,
June.
last year was June. So, I was
Okay.
talking about it for a really long time. And at the time, we were actually having pretty success. And at the time, we've probably closed over 200 land deals.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Whoa.
we always had people hitting us up like, yo, what are you guys doing? Because, we would like to document the process on our Instagram and on our social media.
Yeah.
And we always had people just reaching out to us like, yo, I want to learn this. Like, you guys are making buku money.
200 deals, that's major.
Yeah,
That's each.
That's
200
each.
Hold on, 200 deals each?
So
Yeah.
400 deals in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
What?
Yeah, we've closed over 200 transactions each. So I always let people know not to kind of confuse it because Dre has his own success and I have my own success because we each
Yo, that's awesome.
we each have our own company.
What the name of this f***ing show?
I Talk Great.
I Talk Great.
Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Williams. I Talk Gray, where we talk about all the gray areas of business because it's never just black and white. I got some heavy hitters in the building. How y'all brothers doing today?
Man, feeling blessed, man.
Yeah, life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, I see, man. For y'all, you know what I'm saying? Well, no, you kind of knew. I met you the other day. You know what I'm saying? I see you serious about your business.
Of course.
I like that. You
Yes,
know what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yo, this weather is crazy out here, man. Like, I'm glad y'all was still able to make it through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we was driving really slow to get here,
Yo.
because it's a lot of people with bald tires out here driving. So we gotta be careful. We ain't trying
No, that's facts.
Man, listen.
I still got what is it, PTSD?
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD from getting in a goddamn car accident when I was younger, man. I hate driving in the rain. But we got to make it do what it do, man.
Exactly.
Get to the money.
Yes, sir.
Yo, so how y'all click up?
Man, so our story's crazy. I met this guy. I want to say where we met, Dre, 2019.
2019.
Yeah, so I met him in 2019, and how I met this my guy DeAndre to the right of me. We actually we got hired at this company called Enterprise. Everybody knows Enterprise car rental. The car rental business. So we actually we got hired as a management trainee. And this was actually my first corporate job because just give you a little bit of background about me. So I played basketball all 4 years.
Yeah, you look like a baller.
Yeah, I was a me and him, we were college student athletes. So
Really?
Yeah, I was student athlete. I played basketball. He played football at FAU. So
what happened? Why I ain't make it to the bros?
I mean, stuff happens, politics. You know how it is. Injuries. But
Okay.
That was the main goal for me. When I got out of college, my main focus was trying to make it to the pros. I got a couple of close friends that's overseas right now, killing it, going crazy, making really good money.
Okay.
But as time went on, I was just like, let me switch over to something. Let me learn a skill that can actually make me, high income as much as possible.
Right now money.
So
yeah.
I decided to apply for Enterprise Car Rental. There was a management training program, and thankfully, I had my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He has his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. So,
really? So why you try to be a popo?
Man, I was this close to being a police, man.
For real?
Yeah,
okay, that's what I figured. Like, why would you get a criminal justice degree and not go towards like law or you know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. And as I started noticing, it was just like, man, like I wanted to go that route, but the money they was making, man, it wasn't worth it. It
wasn't worth your life.
I ain't want to put my life on the line for $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
No, of course.
Here,
yeah, I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah, it just makes sense. So I was like, hey, I kind of want to learn how to sell and actually learn how to talk to people. So, I just decided to work at Enterprise. And, when we got hired, that's when I met my guy, DeAndre. And, how these corporate companies are, man, they like to put us in nice hotels, make us feel good. And, at the time, I didn't really have that mindset, that entrepreneur mindset. I was kind of looking at it like, wow, like these people really like us,
Yeah.
I look forward to building and growing with this company.
You got caught up.
And I got caught up, and mind you, right? So this was my roommate. This was my my hotel buddy at the time when we got hired. And this guy right here next to me was just so different. When I tell you different, the way he would talk, the way he would just explain things, I was just like, man, this brother's different. Like the way he thinks is just on a different timing. And
he was elevated.
He was already elevated. And at the time, I still had an employee mindset. But this guy, he told me straight up, he was like, yeah, man, I don't care about anything about this job, what it's offering. I'm just only here to learn how to sell. Right. And at the time, he used to be on his laptop, in the hotel. And mind you, I'm just chilling, kicking it, watching, movies and TVs. This guy right here is grinding next to me, making phone calls. I'm like, yo, dude, what you do? Right? Like, what are you doing over there? Like, why you look so stressed out? But man, this whole time, he was telling me, yeah, bro, I wholesale houses. And basically what it is, we actually reach out to homeowners. And we get them on a contract and assign it for, a fee. Right. And at the time I still didn't understand. I'm just like, yo, bro, that sounds like too much work. And I was like, hey, have you closed a deal before? I told him, I was like, hey, have you closed a deal before? He was like, nah, man, not yet. I was like, man, you wasted your time, man.
Yeah. Like show me some receipts.
Hey, dude, I'm like, hey, bro, let's focus on getting this $44,000 a year. Right. And then just build and work with the company. But man, this guy was like, nah, Jeff, I'm telling you, you just don't know. He was like, man, I guarantee you, Jeff, these guys are not going to keep us for no longer than 6 months. And I kid you not, 6 months later, we ended up getting fired.
Wow. But what made you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Like, what made you know that, though? Like, how you knew that?
I knew how corporations worked already. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and some other books about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And everything they said in the interview, dangling carrots and, high pay raises and, you next management position. It was just like refreshing what I've already learned from podcasts and books. And I was like, yo, we ain't gonna last long. Okay. And then he was going to 6 months.
Dangling carrots.
Yeah, I was going on month number 7. When they let me go, I was already mentally prepared to be gone. You know what I'm saying? I already knew what was going to happen before I got hired.
Yeah.
Just based on the interview and how things was going.
Yeah.
So,
okay. No, but that's smart though. I tell people that all the time. Like, you got to look at a job as a way to gather a skill, so then you can go ahead and go do your own thing. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what he was doing the whole time. Because he told me straight up, he was like, man, when I'm making these calls, I don't sound like a salesman. So he was like, man, I literally just got this job, man. When I tell you, he didn't get no 401k, no health benefits, no nothing. He
didn't want nothing coming out of his check.
He said he didn't want nothing. He just wanted everything coming straight to him. All he wanted from the company was just to learn how to talk to people, right? Which was very important. Right?
How long? You said y'all was there for 6 months.
I was there for 6 months. I got fired in 6 months, and then
I was there for 7.
Yeah, he was there for 7. He kind of just got fired like 2 weeks later after I got fired. You know what I mean? So it was bound to happen because he called it from the beginning. I couldn't believe it when it happened. I was just like, whoa, like.
But how long did it take you to like get that mindset to set in regards to what he was telling you?
So it took me around, I want to say around like 4 or 5 months. And after the whole time, when we started, when we had our positions, we worked at different branches. I was at the airport. He was at a different airport all the way in West Palm Beach. So it didn't really click for me until he told me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
He was like, man, look, if you really want to understand what I'm trying to say, like read this book right here. And I kid you
not.
not.
That helped you structure your mindset.
Dude, he gave me Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book changed my whole mindset, changed my whole life.
So after you left Enterprise, you went and got another job.
And it's crazy because after I left Enterprise, I still low-key still had that slave mindset because I was kind of, looking for security. I didn't fully believe in, the whole wholesaling business because I was just like, man, I just need a 9-to-5 right now.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to think about, quick ways how to feed my family because at the time I had my son. And
also, you're a dad.
Yeah, I'm a dad, man. So my son came into the world January 28, 2020, and then my son. And I got fired actually when my son was around like 2-3 months. So back in my head, I'm like, yo,
of course you gotta,
I need another job. And I started applying for other jobs, and then something hit me, man. I don't know what it was, but a fire lit up inside of me, and I didn't like it, right? And I just kind of realized I was just like, yo, man, I really don't know why I'm putting my whole entire life in another man's hands. Like, I don't know why another man's controlling my time and my money, right? Because how I see it now that I'm a dad is just like, yo, this person can actually strip all of that away from me.
Just like that.
In a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that feeling anymore. And one day I was like, you know what? Let me call DeAndre. Right. Sat him down. I was like, yo, Dre, like, I want to do what exactly that you're doing. Like, you've been telling me about this from the beginning. I want to sit down and actually see how to do this from A to Z.
Well, was he making deals at this point in time?
So at the point, you know, by the time we got fired, I think Dre had closed around like 2 or 3 deals. Yeah. You know, he had some receipts to show. You know, it wasn't crazy big deal, but it was something. It was money, and I was like, okay, you can actually make money without actually punching in the clock, right? Mm-hmm. And it kind of took me really hard to realize, and I didn't. And when I actually shifted to that entrepreneur mindset, it was when I think I was applying for Whole Foods. Dog, I couldn't even get a job. I had a whole degree, and they said I wasn't qualified. And that's
probably was overqualified.
Yeah,
and they told you,
yeah.
You couldn't get a job at Whole Foods.
That's what I'm saying. I was just like, you know what? Dang, like my degree ain't working. I was just like, you know what, man? Let me actually dive into this entrepreneurship and actually see it and check it out.
So what's some student loans looking like though?
Man, actually, I was blessed to actually, you know, have a full ride scholarship to play basketball.
Oh,
for a year.
Yeah, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for that. Full ride?
Yeah, full ride. So
you was that nice.
So I did 2 years of junior college, you know, no tuition, no student loans. That was paid for. Then after junior college, I was blessed to receive a full ride scholarship to Bethune-Cookman University.
Okay.
A Division I out here in Daytona Beach. So
yeah. You
know, I was blessed with the opportunity to not pay for any school, any books, which I'm forever thankful for.
Of course, you got away.
Yeah, I had to get it out of the way by any means, man. But
yeah,
you know, after college, you know, like I said, I just went try to figure out what was best for me. And kid you not, you know, now here we are wholesaling. Just been doing this for the past 3 years, and it's honestly changed my life.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, right? How do you structure your day right now to ensure that it's set up for success?
So, I mean, you know, first things first, you know, what I like to do is wake up, pray. You know, I spend a lot of time praying, meditating, because, you know, without God, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So, you know, I try to make time out the day to always, you know, give thanks and really, really focus on myself, because that's really important, because the more you can pour into yourself, the better that you become as an entrepreneur. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs don't spend too much time on themselves, you know, always waking up, either on their phone, checking their emails. You know, sometimes you just got to take a breather and actually spend some time alone, you know, whether it's reading a Bible, praying, meditating, working out. Yeah. You know, and that's something that honestly changed when I started getting into that, because when I was a student athlete, that's really more so, that was my schedule, right? Just waking up, getting ready to go to the gym, getting ready, you know, just preparing my mind, preparing my body for war. So I just translated everything into entrepreneurship and kind of, you know, making it and doing the same way. But, you know, pretty much praying, meditating, and then from there, after, you know, make my breakfast and then start my day out by writing in my journal, writing out my day-to-day tasks, what I want to get done. And I feel like writing down my tasks every day really jumped a lot, like a really long way, when I started writing my day-to-day tasks, because it was really important to know and see where you're headed. Yeah, kind of have a map out. Yeah. And like I said, you know, I give thanks to him, because he was the one that was just laying everything for me.
No, that was good, man.
You know, just kind of,
you don't have a lot of dudes that'll do that there for you.
Nah, man. And I literally I lost a lot of friends, you know, chasing this entrepreneurship journey, because I was always with this guy all the time. You know, we was locked in every single day, making the calls, you know, just putting in the time and energy to you know, to make us be where we're at now.
So how did y'all start this land flipping empire community?
So you know, I actually came up with it, I want to say last year. June. You know, last year June. So I mean, I was talking about it for a really long time. And at the time, you know, we were actually having pretty success. And at the time, we've probably closed over 200 land deals. And, you know, we always had people hitting us up like, yo, what are you guys doing? Because, like, you know, we would like to document the process on our Instagram and on our social media. Yeah. And we always had people just reaching out to us like, yo, I want to learn this. Like, you guys are making buku money. 200 deals, that's major. Yeah. That's each. Hold on, 200 deals each? So 400 deals in total. Wow. Yeah.
Come on, dog.
What? Yeah, we've closed over 200 transactions each. So I always let people know not to kind of confuse it, because, you know, Dre has his own success and I have my own success, because we each. Yo, that's awesome. Yeah, we each have our own company. You know, we grew our own separate companies, which was very, very vital for us, you know, because I feel like doing that, you know, we were able to make as much money, separate. And then once we came together, that's when we started putting our money together and going out to buy properties now with that.
Okay.
But, we started the Land Flipping Empire community, I want to say back last year in June. And, I reached out to DeAndre. I was like, hey man, I think it's time, to give back and really show the people out here who's like me and you,
right,
who look like us to really change their lives with the information that we were blessed with, and see, who's out there that's willing to take it serious and change their families' lives. And here we are a year later. We're actually, it's gonna be a year anniversary in June, but I mean, in a few months, we've had, massive success with certain students. We have a 19-year-old that's in our community. She joined our community, I want to say late December, heading into 2023. She's a 19-year-old college student, and she's already made over $75,000. That's a full-time college student.
Hey, what's her gram?
Her Instagram is BGB Kicks.
Okay.
So
hold on. You said you started off with the real estate wholesaling.
Yeah.
But how y'all get into the land? Like, what made y'all transition from the real estate to the land?
So so I was starting off with houses, and then so we met a friend, and she threw a seminar, how to wholesale land. And we flew out to Atlanta. We did the seminar, and then after we learned what we learned, then we basically just took the bull by the horns, and then we just started killing the land game. So that's how we found out. A friend that was teaching it.
Wow. So y'all put up the bread. Y'all flew out there. Y'all wasn't afraid to get in the right room.
Without a doubt.
I like that, man. Yeah. So can you grow if you're the smartest person in the room?
Well, it's not ideal. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You can still grow, but you want people that's smarter than you, more knowledgeable, that can bring, value to your team. It's more about the team that you put together versus yourself. So you're going to learn from each individual person on your team. Yeah. But I highly advise you find people smarter than you, whether it's business partners, accountants, CPAs, your acquisitions, dispositions, whatever position that you hire out or whoever you're listening to, I will make sure they're smarter than you and they know more.
So when you say acquisition, what do you mean by that?
Acquisitions is basically a term we use where you're acquiring properties, whether it's land, houses, apartments, whatever business that you're in. When you acquire it, you're making the calls, you're making the text messages, you're making the offers, you're trying to acquire a business for your company.
Okay. Make sure y'all get y'all pens and pads out because they dropping gems in this episode. Yo, okay. So let me ask this, right? Do you need your real estate license to do the land part of it?
Absolutely not, and that's a really big misconception. People think you need a license. You don't need a license at all. You don't need you don't need a real estate license. You don't need a state license. You don't need anything. You can be fresh out of high school, fresh out of jail, fresh out of anywhere,
fresh out of the bank.
You don't even need a college. You don't need a college degree. You don't even need a high school diploma. You can start it just from scratch, from nothing. You can come from nothing and start it.
How much money did you have to invest to obtain all this knowledge, though? How'd y'all get?
We started off with $0, man.
$0.
Everybody say, "Oh, it's $0," and as soon as you go, and it's $399 every year. Let me lock you in.
So I kid you not. We started off with no money, and there's a lot of softwares out there with websites. So we started off using Zillow, right? Everybody has access to Zillow.com. A lot of people be on Zillow, probably looking at their future houses and, daydreaming, fantasizing. But nah, man, you can actually make money off Zillow, right? So there's actually filters on Zillow to where you can actually find landowners who are listing their properties on Zillow who is actually looking to sell their property. And this is everybody has access to this, right? When you go on Zillow, all you want to do is type in for sale by owner, right? Check that out to make sure, you're not dealing with any realtors. And then on the home types, all you want to do is leave out land, lots and land. And there you have access to over 10,000 free data all across the nation, right? Of people who's looking to sell their property, and literally all their phone numbers is right there. And all you have to do is just pick up the phone and call, or pick up the phone and text.
So you don't deal with realtors at all?
We don't deal with realtors. We go straight. We like to deal straight to the home, to the landowner, because at the end of the day, they're the decision maker, right? They're the ones that's going to give us a yes or no answer on the numbers that we come to an agreement on, right?
Okay.
So,
so can you explain wholesaling in a nutshell? Sorry, I mean to cut you.
Yeah, so basically what wholesaling is, you're basically the middleman, right? Where, You're reaching out to somebody who's in distress, who wants to actually sell their property. And then all you're doing, right, is tying them up to a contract, right? Because all we're doing is moving paper, right? And all you're doing is locking them up under contract. And then boom, once you have that, you know, that price, that number that you guys agreed to on a contract, now there's something in the clause in that contract that allows you to assign this property. Okay, so in that assignment, right now you're able to actually market this property that you have on paper to another end buyer who's may be interested in buying that property for 5, 10, 20, 50, even $100,000, right? There's people out here that are closing $100,000 deals, $1 million deals, just moving paper.
Wow.
Right. So that's basically what wholesaling is. You're just the middleman, right? Because so basically, right, we reach out to these home builders, right? And a lot of home building companies, you know, the DR Hortons, the Miranda Homes, right? And a lot of these building companies, they have the capital, but they don't have the time and resources to actually go out and talk to these people who own land. That's where we come in, right? And we come in and actually do all of that extra work, and we present the property to them.
Okay.
And if the numbers make sense, right, they take it for X amount, and all we're doing is just assigning the properties over to them.
Wow.
For a profit. Yeah. Without using none of our own money, right?
None of your own money.
We're not putting anything down, right? So let's say, for instance, on a piece of paper, right, we have a property on the contract for $20,000, right? And the seller's like, hey, Jeff, I want you to put down $1,000 deposit. I'm not putting that down, because now when I'm drawing up my assignment contract for my builder, right, and he's taking it for $30,000, I'm putting that same $1,000 deposit that he wants me to put up to the builder. So my builder can go ahead and send that $1,000 to the title company, right? So I'm not putting up any of my own money.
I mean, but if they're asking for the $1,000 right now, how fast are you finding that buyer?
Oh, right then and there, because the buyer, he's already given us his criteria. He's already given us the area that he's looking for. So the minute that we go ahead and assign it, right, and we like to let our sellers know, like, hey, you know, it's going to take us around 3 days to go ahead and get that EMD over to the title company. So we always
EMD, what's that?
Earnest money deposit. Right?
Okay,
that's what it's called. So
earnest money deposit. Okay.
Yeah, we like to address the sellers and let them know that, hey, you know, we'll get the EMD over in the next probably 2 to 3 days, maybe less. But whenever we do send it over to the title company, you'll get a receipt, or the title company will let you know when the EMD is in. Right, because we usually don't have sellers hound us and say, hey, we want it today or tomorrow. They're never like that.
So they usually know that it's a process that.
Yeah, it's a process. We always let them know everything is a process, because, you know, we're doing 20, 30 transactions every single month. So, you know, we let them know that, hey, it's going to take time. And then, you know, from there, our buyers are able to get the EMD in time.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
So what criteria do you use to identify that the land is actually good for wholesaling?
So we basically just looked at we look at flood zones. So when you're looking at land, there's some things you want to stay away from. Properties cannot be in flood zones and wetlands as well. So wetlands, you can't even build on those. Okay. It's literally what it sounds like. It's just a whole bunch of wet areas of land. You can't you step in it, you might fall in there. It's like you can swim in it. You know what I'm saying?
Like everything is going on around here.
Exactly. Landlocked properties that you have no access to.
Okay.
So because when you first start out, people always get landlocked properties, flood zones, and the wetlands. And I say, I don't want neither of those. And then properties that have no utilities whatsoever. They don't have access to electricity. They don't have access to no water or no sewer. You want to stay away from those, because you can't build on it, because you ain't gonna have access to any utilities. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So those are things that I would stay away from. And if all those all that checks out, so if it's not in the flood zone, it's not wetland, it has utilities, right? And then it's not landlocked, you have access to it, then that's really all you need. That's really all you need.
Is there a difference between land and like lots?
So when people say land, I think they think of bigger acreage. They think of more like rural, like 20 acres, 30 acres. Yeah. When you think of a lot, it's more small. You think of something that's in like a downtown area that's like 3,000 square feet. So we look at the lots of more small in the neighborhoods and cities, and then land, people equivalent that to 1 acre, 2 acres, bigger acre tracts. But in my opinion, I think it's the same thing. I think it's really interchangeable. So I could say I got a 20 acre lot.
Okay.
I could say I got a 3,000 square foot piece of land. I think it's interchangeable, in my opinion.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Which one do you guys more target?
So we like to target infill lots, right?
Yeah.
And these infill lots where we like to target is where there's a lot of new construction going on, right? Where there's properties being built around the neighborhoods. You see houses around, right? And then in between those houses, right, you see those little vacant pieces of land. Right, that's money, and a lot of people like to drive past it and look past it. They think it's just grass, but dude, you can actually flip that for a few bands.
Okay.
And that's where we like to target is infill lots in these neighborhoods.
Okay.
And a lot of home builders love those infill lots because they love, up and coming neighborhoods to where, hey, they'll take this piece of property for an extra 10 to 15 extra thousand to put a house on it and make, whatever amount they're going to make on it because it's in a nice area, right? They can actually sell this property to, a nice single family, a family that, wants to live in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's better to deal with, like the big developers or cash buyers?
Everybody.
I say all the above. So the big developers, they are cash buyers too. So they have
a lot of cash.
They have a lot of capital. It's all cash. There's really no financing. They've already raised the capital or they already have access to it. But we sell to big developers, small builders, big builders.
You getting paid in cash?
Yeah, and we sell to retail buyers. So mom and pop people who live in New York. That might be like, we want to own some land over in Atlanta. We sell to them, Mr. and Mrs. Anybody. We even sell land to flippers, people like us, where they buy it and then they flip it. They actually close on it and then they resell it at a later date, maybe 6 to 8 months. So anybody who wants to own land, we sell to.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Cash up front.
Yeah.
I like this. So who do you have to build relationships with in this market?
So, we like to build relationships with home building companies, realtors. And the reason why I say realtors, even though we kind of like not to deal with them when it comes to transactions, but certain realtors, right, they have clients out there that are actually in need or looking for properties. So, realtors, builders, land flippers, people who like to buy land and, like DeAndre said, hold on to it for a few months and then sell it. So, I mean, you want to connect and build relationships with people who just looking for land. Hey, you may be even looking for land yourself, right? And you might hit me up one day, hey, man, I'm looking for land up in Broward County, 10,000 square feet. I'm your guy. I can go out and go look for one for you. So, pretty much anybody who's looking for land, that's who you want to kind of connect with and build relationships with. There's a lot of Facebook groups that people can join for free. Where there's people out there that are actually writing down their criteria where they're looking to buy land in, and then you can just connect with that person and let him know what you do, and let him know that, hey, you'll be, work, or you can just let him know like, hey, you'd like to actually work with this person and bring him deals that fits his criteria.
Okay. Yo, that's dope, man. But let me ask you a question. Like, I know like when you deal with real estate, there's equity in the properties. Do you deal with equity with land too?
Well, yeah, we deal with equity in land. That's basically our assignment fee. So if we're in a neighborhood and a piece of land is worth $50,000, right? Then we offer the seller $40,000, right? And we sell it for $50,000. So that $10,000 was that extra amount of equity that the land had in it, and that's basically our assignment fee. So remember the equity. Generally, equity refers to the difference between what it's worth and then the mortgage. The thing about land is there's no mortgage 9 times out of 10. It's
so how
free,
you know what it's worth?
It's free and clear. So you can look at the land sales in the area. So it's really easy to go on Zillow or any free data software and you say, I seen 10 vacant lots in this area sell for $50,000. You can assume that this lot will also sell for 50 because in the past 30, 60, 90 days, it's been 10 sales, all for around 50, maybe 50, maybe 48. It's all in the same range. So that's how you find out. You got to look at what's selling in the area. So if I see it selling at 50, I'm like, man, we coming in this area. We offering everybody 30. You know what I'm saying? You always want to offer lower so you can negotiate in case they counter you so you can negotiate your spread. So that's how it works with the equity.
Is that what they mean by when they say like comp?
Yeah, comps, comparables, comparables.
Yeah, I was doing a little research.
Yeah, that's it. It's the same thing. Just like how you comp houses, you can comp land the same exact way. Same thing. Yeah.
All right. So how different are you talking to the seller versus the buyer?
It's a different conversation with the seller. So I'll say with the seller, it's more like, hey, we want to purchase your lot. We're building homes in the area. Did you have any interest in selling? With the buyer, it's more like, hey, we have this property on the contract ready to go. Are you still looking in the market to buy? So it's two different conversations, and we're just bringing them together and collecting the fee in the middle.
Yeah.
The seller has no idea that we're signing it, that we're basically signing to the buyer, but the buyer knows that we're signing it, and they don't care. Normally, they don't care how much we make on the deal. As long as they get the lot and they close on it, we're all good.
So, okay, so you said that the seller doesn't know that you guys are doing that.
Correct.
Right? But have there ever been a time where they found out and they try to go behind you and get it for another deal or something like that?
Well, no, not really. The thing is, the sellers normally find out at closing, when it's closing date, so it's really too late. So that's why.
Don't feel like slimy. Like,
well, it's not the reason why it's really not slimy is because everything is in the contract. So everything is in there that we made the buyer.
But they didn't know up front, no.
So they didn't know we were gonna. So when you have the assignability clause in the contract, we have the option to assign. So we can assign it or we can close on it ourselves. So all we're doing is exercising our right to assign it. Even though they didn't know, but we checked the box that we have that option.
That man studied law. You can tell. He ain't waver. We're operating our rights. Like, yo, you're
operating. You gotta operate it. Everything is on paper.
Everything is. That's what I say. They didn't know. It's not like we not putting it on the contract and we like trying to steal from them. It's in the contract. You just got to read it. If they ask about it, we'll let them know, hey, well, we have the option to assign it if we so choose to. You know what I'm saying? So, but we always recommend attorneys read the contracts, realtors or trusted people that they trust. So it's not like we're say, hey, sign it right now. We're not skipping people over. We're like, hey, take your time, fill it out, ask me any questions you need, send it to an attorney. We'll talk to the attorney. If they need to ask us questions, we'll email them. We'll talk. We'll do what we have to do.
So you guys speak to the attorney.
If the seller has an attorney, because some seller we send this because we're dealing with legal documents. So if we send a contract to a seller and they're like, hey, I want to have my attorney review, I say that's awesome. Go ahead and send it to them. And then if they have any questions, matter of fact, give them my number and my email, and then have them contact me directly if they got any questions.
So you're building that trust.
Exactly.
Yeah,
how are you guys talking to lawyers though? Like.
Man, trust me. I used to think like, wow, we really talking to her. I used to be scared of attorneys, but man, I love them because it's like, like you said, we just building that trust with the attorneys, with the sellers, and just letting them know like this is going to be a very smooth process for them, right? We're not here to play any games. We just want to help them sell their property at the end of the day, right? Because they have something that they don't want anymore, and we have the cash and the money to actually buy it. That's really pretty much it.
So how do you know when someone's motivated to sell?
Man, that's a really good question. And when somebody is motivated to sell really based on, their tone and just their situation, because how we like to do it, right? We like to build rapport, right? We like to ask the right questions. I mean, hey, what are your plans with the property? I mean, if you don't sell it, right? And that's when we just shut up, right? And then they just start going on a storyline. They just start giving us their whole background of how they got it. Yeah. Right. And while they're giving us all this information, we're finding bits and pieces of, oh yeah, this person's motivated. She said that the reason why, she doesn't want anymore is because she lives all the way in California. Her kids are all grown. Okay. She doesn't plan on moving to Florida no time soon. So, I mean, hey, she just wants to get rid of it. She has no plans to build on it. This person's motivated. Right. And then boom, that's where we come in. Right. And we kind of, use the same words that they want. I mean, hey, so it seems like, you just don't have no plans with it. So, I mean, hey, if we're able to agree on a number today, right, and we can cover all the closing costs for you, make sure that you net this amount at closing. I mean, what's a comfortable number you'll like to move forward with. Mm-hmm. Right. And then from there, they like to give us their number. And sometimes, 9 times out of 10, the sellers like to shoot themselves in the foot. Sometimes they don't even know what their property's worth. Wow. Right. So they'll ask us like, I mean, hey, what's the property worth? Right. So then we'll come in and kind of let them know, I mean, hey, right now, there's comparable sales where the property is selling for X amount. Mm-hmm. Right. We're already, making sure that we got them at a discount. And then from there, 9 times out of 10, they're like, all right, yeah, that's cool with me. Right. Because they don't care about the property. They just want the cash.
They're trying to get rid of it.
They just want the cash. So boom. And right there, once they agree on that number, we write it up on contract. And then from there, we assign it to our end buyers. and it's literally a smooth process, like always smooth.
Man, that is so dope, bro.
Yeah, smooth.
So I was doing my research, right? What's skip tracing?
So skip tracing is basically you finding the contact information of the owner.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like 5 or 6 possible phone numbers. You also get their email, and you also get possible relatives and associates that are so they give you any phone number that may be associated with that person, because sometimes when we're reaching out to these people, we don't get to the actual owner. We might get to the cousin, we might get to the uncle, the brother, or sister. Sometimes we get to a long lost neighbor. And then they'll be like, oh, I got his number. Oh, I got their number. I got their contact. Do you want it? Sometimes it goes like, and then sometimes they say, I'll reach out to them for you and let you know if they want to sell. So skip tracing can really help you get to the owner that you're looking for.
Okay. So are y'all always finding lands virtually, or y'all driving around in neighborhoods looking?
We don't leave the house, dude.
100%.
So y'all don't drive around?
Oh, nah.
No, we be in our boxes, dog. we be in bathrobes. You hear me? Like, we do not leave the house. We honestly,
I saw you on the gram flexing.
Honestly, we've actually, I don't think me and DeAndre have never seen any of our properties. Like,
what? So y'all not even stepping in mud? Y'all not even seeing none of that?
No, we not in the field, dude. Everything is virtual. Everything is virtual. It's 2023. Technology is more powerful than ever. Right, because there's different softwares where we can actually, there's Google Earth. We can type in the address of the property that we're looking at and look at it on Google Earth and, look around, see what it is. All right, so it's kind of, heavily wooded and stuff like that. So, technology is very powerful. I mean, you're
telling AI is real, man.
Oh, trust me, AI is crazy. We've been actually implementing AI in our businesses as well. But
okay,
I mean, outside of AI, but as far as with us actually virtually, so basically we do everything virtual. Whether it's driving for dollars, we can do it virtual, right? We don't need to get in the car, because you got to understand, we're actually flipping properties all throughout the state. Right.
So you're not just doing it down here.
No. No way. You can do this nationwide.
What?
Right?
Y'all like State Farm?
State Farm nationwide. Listen, because I've closed a deal in North Carolina. I've never even been there, right? DeAndre's closed a few deals in Texas. He's never even been there, right?
That's crazy.
I mean, you can do this anywhere as long as you have a builder who wants to buy and a seller who wants to sell. You can make money anywhere in the U.S.
So what are some good sites to like look for empty land? Besides Zillow, I know you said Zillow, but what are some other good sites that somebody could look on if y'all want to give the tea?
No.
Well,
sure.
You can go to like price.com, land.com.
Okay.
You got your Realtor, you got your Trulia, you got Redfin. And then you also have another website called homes.com. You can literally just click the filter vacant lots, and then you'll just see them pop up. But that's really it. Those are all the things.
Yeah, you can actually look for land deals on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, that's another good.
Right?
That's a gem right there. I'm telling you.
Even on Facebook, there's people selling their land deals on Facebook where, on Facebook, as long as you filter it out and put in the area, right, and putting the area or the city that you're looking for land in, right, they actually have people for sale by owners that are posting their land deals on Facebook. Right. Wow. Yeah. So you can go on Facebook and look for land. You can be on OfferUp looking at land. Craigslist.
OfferUp.
Craigslist. I mean, people are posting their land wherever they can, get their eyes on.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So when someone says, I'm interested, right? What are the next steps in making sure you close that deal?
So the next step, right, is basically, you want to qualify them, making sure you're talking to the right person. Making sure you're dealing with all the decision makers on the property, right? Because if there's more than one person on title, right, we got to make sure all 3 people sign, right? If there's 3 people on title, we need 3 signatures. If there's 5 people on title, we need 5 signatures. So, basically, we're just doing our homework, making sure that, hey, are you the only decision maker? Okay, is this the correct address to the property? Making sure we're getting our ducks in order before we put everything on paper. Because there's people out there that be scamming, and they like to claim like this is their property. I know me and DeAndre have got scammed before, where we thought we had a crazy deal, but once everything goes to title, right? Because when you send all the paperwork to title, these title companies, they need certain paperwork documents and Sometimes when they will request it from the seller just won't respond or start acting fugazi or trying to, you know what I mean? So that's why we like to do our fact find before. But whenever we get an I'm interested, that's what we kind of do, is just make sure, you know, all of the things make sense, you know, making sure we're talking to the right owners, right address. And then from there, you know, we talk numbers, right? We kind of get them questioned. You know, we like to build rapport. And kind of, you know, pick their brains a little bit to see, you know, what they think their property is worth and et cetera, you know, what are their plans. And then boom, once we come to agreement on a number, we get them on a contract. And then from there, once we have that live contract, now we're able to market that contract to our end buyers.
Okay. So you got the person who wants to sell the land, right? Mm-hmm. Where are you getting the person who wants to buy the land?
So there's so many ways that we're finding our buyers. You know, we're on Google, you know, let's say for instance, right, we find a piece of land in Broward County, right? We have a seller in Broward County who wants to sell their piece of land. Right now, all we're doing is typing in on Google Broward County home builders, and now there's a list of home building companies in Broward County that you can actually pick up the phone and call these companies.
So you're doing a lot of cold calling.
A lot of cold calling. You know, we actually send emails to the inquiries that these, you know, home building companies have on their websites. You know, it's a lot that we do. But mainly when we started off, that was our bread and butter, which is cold calling all these building companies. And the reason why we would cold call these building companies is because when you're dealing and working with the home building company, right, 9 times out of 10, these guys are not doing 1 or 2 transactions every month. They're doing 20, 30 transactions every month. So when you connect yourself with a top dog and a big time developer or a home building company, you have the opportunities is endless, right? There's times where, you know, I've worked with only one person and made over $250,000 just with one building company.
What?
Yeah, with one building company.
Congrats on that.
Yeah. So
you know
I mean, you know, it's crazy, and that's why we do a lot of cold calling, because all you need is to talk to one right person, right? You need to talk to, you know, a lot of people to get in contact with that one dude that's
Cha-ching.
like, yeah. He's like, hey man, bring me everything you got in this area. I'm paying this price, and I'm closing in 30 days.
And you getting cash. Benjamins.
Yeah. Straight.
Yo, so what kind of paperwork are we talking about here that you actually need?
So really just a seller's purchase and sale agreement.
Seller's purchasing sale agreement.
Yeah, a purchase agreement really with the seller, just letting them know that, hey.
That's what the seller is signing.
Yeah, this is what the seller is signing. And, you know, we have access to these documents in our community. They're simple 2-page contract, ABC, like, hey, this is your name, this is the address to the property, just letting them know, you know, how long it's going to take for us to close. Here's the amount of the, you know, deposit that we're going to be putting up. And then from there, right, once they sign this 2-page contract, there's also 1-page contracts out there that people can use, you know, very simple. And then once they sign it, right, now there's another contract that we use with our end buyers, which is called an assignment contract.
Those are the developers.
Those are developers. Those are mom and pop, whoever wants to buy this property from us. We like to send them something that's called an assignment contract. And in that assignment contract, that's the basically what we agreed to, me and the end buyer. And we put that all on paper on the assignment contract, right, to make sure that, one, there's a seller, right? We have the contract with the seller, and now we have another contract with the buyer. So now we have 2 live contracts, and then from there, we send it to the title company, because, you know, with the title company's job, they handle all real estate transactions. You know, when you go buy a house, you got to go through a title company.
No, correct.
So, you know, we deal with friendly investor, you know, title companies that know what we're doing. They know that we're wholesaling. They know that, you know, we're getting an assignment fee. So once we have these 2 contracts, right, we send it over to the title company. And then from there, you know, we sit back and wait till everything makes sense. Everything checks out, right? Property is free and clear. There's no back taxes. There's no liens or anything crazy, because, you know, the builder wants this lot free and clear. They don't want no issues. They don't want no mortgage, you know. So once all that checks out and closing time's ready to go, you know, the builder sends their money to the title company. And then, you know, what we agreed with the seller, he gets paid. And then that equity, that assignment fee that we get in between, that's what we walk away with. And then the buyer gets the property and they get to do whatever they want with it.
So who gives y'all the cash?
The title company.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the title company is the one that give you the cash.
Yeah. So the title company is either cutting us a check or sending us a wire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to double close on a deal?
Yeah. So I've had to double close on a few deals. So the industry standard is to double close when you're making like 15 grand or more. But just to talk about my experience, so I did a $65,000 deal. And I had to double close on it because sometimes when you're making such a large fee, some people can get in their feelings even at closing. Yeah. The buyer and the seller, like, whoa, this guy's making this much.
Yeah, you walking away with too much, my guy.
You walking too much, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you get that, like the deal that I did, it was under contract at $250,000. And then I got a separate contract for $320,000, which was about a $70,000 difference. So I had to actually, sometimes you have to actually wire the $250, like you send in the money, and then the buyer send it, and you get the difference. And then sometimes the title company will just use the buyer's money and fund both transactions, so you ain't got to come out of pocket nothing. And then another option is that you can just use a lender. A lender will probably charge you like 1%, a flat fee, and they'll lend the front end, and then when the buyer sends their end, then you'll get the difference. But so the industry standard is like, I say if you're making 15 grand or more, I do recommend double closing the transaction.
So you said lender, right? Do you have to show them the contract of what's going on before they even like lend you that money?
Yeah. So basically the lenders are they're gonna require the contract between you and the seller, contract between you and the buyer.
Okay.
They're also gonna require the buyer to make sure that the deposit is already in as well, and that the title is free and clear. And the lender is not gonna lend the money until the buyer's money is already sitting in escrow, basically sitting at the title company already. So once it's confirmed that the buyer sent their money, then the lender goes ahead and they wire their money, and then the lender get their little fee, and you get your difference. Buyer gets the property, seller gets their money. So yeah.
Okay. I see why you staying swole, man, because you making exchanges like that. They coming to see you. So let me ask you a question, right? Because since the economy has been kind of like rocky, how y'all staying afloat?
I mean, buyers are always buying. Believe it or not, the United States, just in general, they're behind on housing. Like everybody's in a search for affordable housing, whether it's first-time home buyers or down to the person who's trying to rent their first apartment. Things are just very expensive, right?
Okay.
So the builders, they build the inventory. In order to build the inventory to house all these people, they need land. So that's what we come in at. So whether the market is up, down, the housing market can be in turmoil and complete shatter, right? Builders still need to build. Right, They have all this capital sitting around. They raised all this money, and they have to put it to use. They can't just sit on it. So the market could crash tomorrow. We'll still be doing land deals. Will it be affected a little bit? Will prices go down a little bit? Will things slow down a little bit? I say yeah, but overall the business doesn't stop. We were doing deals all through the during COVID, after COVID. So it's not gonna stop. No matter what.
It's not a seasonal thing.
It's not seasonal. Yeah. Because some businesses are just like, it only work 6 months out the year. Then that's the year. Nah, all year round. January all the way through December, then January through December all over again. So you can make money every month out the year.
Okay. Man, you guys are doing awesome, man. So what's next for y'all, man?
So right now, just buying rental properties, man, putting our wholesale fees into hard assets, man, because that's what it's about, man. Generational wealth,
Yes.
Because that's really important for us. We're young, 27, so.
You're only 27?
Yeah, only 27.
Okay. You too?
Yeah, 27.
27. Okay. So, right now, just making sure, we're being prepared when times come hard, like when those tough times do come.
Yeah.
Where, banks are, as you can see, banks are starting to shut down. And it's getting crazy. A lot of people getting scared, but
you need assets, man.
You need assets, dog. So, right now, just building our portfolio and just acquiring as much assets as possible with our wholesale assignments, because that's where, eventually you want to put your money towards, not just materialistic things, but really hard assets to actually keep you afloat. You know what I mean? So let's say, for instance, wholesaling was to die tomorrow. Those properties that we acquired is always going to pay us no matter what every single month because we have tenants in there.
Okay, so you buying and holding.
Yeah, buying and holding.
Like single family homes or duplexes?
Single family, duplexes.
Mobile homes.
Land.
You can even rent land. So, you know.
Okay, rent land.
So you can buy the vacant lots, and then you can lease the land to somebody who, let's just say let's just say that they want to own the land, but they don't necessarily have all the cash up front.
Yeah.
So you buy it, right? Or you can do it different ways, but I'm just gonna say the most simple way. You buy it, and then you can sell it to that person on payment. So you say, look, you don't have all the money right now, but you give me like a small down payment. You pay me $300-$400 a month until it's paid off, and then the land is yours. So if you buy the land for $10,000, you can sell it for $20,000 on payments. So you won't get that $20,000 right away, but you'll get that $20,000 in over 5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's the way you can do it as well. You can lease land, and people don't know that you can lease land as well.
Man, that was a jewel.
Yeah.
So how people could sign up to y'all course, man? Because I'm ready to sign up. Like, what's up?
So, I mean, we definitely do have our course in our Instagram bios,
okay.
The Land Flipping Empire community. And if people want to reach out to us, they can follow us on Instagram, Jeffrey Altidore, that's Jeffrey, Altidort. And they can follow my partner, Flipping Contracts, Dre. And they can reach out to us. They can DM us. We can get on a 15-minute call because sometimes, we like to get on calls with our future clients if people want to join our mentorship community, because it's not just a course, it's really much a mentorship community where we hold your hand to your first deal.
Really? What's the fee for that?
So what we charge, we charge $149.99 a month. So there's 3 different payment plans. People can join the group for 2 weeks at $89.99, or they can join the monthly at $149.99 a month, or they can just pay a one-time for the whole year, where we hold their hand for the whole year at I believe $1,500.
It's not bad.
And it's the landflippingempire.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
The landflippingempire.com.
Got a discount code?
I mean, we could create one. We could create one.
Man, these listeners, man, we're gonna need one, man, because I definitely want to sign up to this. This sounds so lucrative.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we're gonna talk.
We got to talk.
We're gonna talk with a discount code. So
yeah, man.
We're gonna definitely let you know.
I appreciate y'all brothers coming on, man.
Yes,
this has been so awesome. We didn't realize almost a whole hour done went by. Y'all done dropping jewels, man.
Wow.
Yeah. This is how it be, man. Y'all educated us here today. Y'all educated me because I didn't know nothing about this. I was doing my due diligence, and I was like, man, what the hell are they talking about wholesaling land? Like, I knew you could wholesale real estate, but not land.
Yeah, man. That's it. And the reason why I love land, because it's little to no competition. Not a lot of people know about it. When you hear wholesale, they think about, you flipping houses.
No, facts.
You know what I mean? But nah, man. Wholesaling is like a deep blue ocean, man. You can do a lot of things in real estate. You can wholesale a lot of things in real estate: condos, apartments, land, commercial buildings, gas stations, houses, multifamilies. You can wholesale anything as long as you have a seller and a buyer. Dog. There's dudes pumping out 100K deals, $1 million deals out here, just moving paper.
Making bread, being the middleman.
That's it.
Man, let everybody else know where they can find you at. One more time.
So, you guys can follow me on Instagram at JeffreyAltidort. And you can follow DeAndre at Flipping Contracts Dre. That's Flipping FLIPPING. Contracts CONTRACTS Dre DRE.
Man, thank y'all fellas, man, for coming on, man. It's been so great to have these brothers on. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your dog, Mr. Williams. I Talk Gray, and we out of here. Yeah.